New shoe on head video. Fresh off of the head. What Trump really destroyed. The dark truth behind USAID.
Donald Trump, along with Elon Musk, have created a new government agency called Doge. And what I originally thought was just an older sibling giving a younger sibling an unplugged video game controller actually turned into a real thing. And their first order of business was dismantling USAID, an innocent government program that helped poor people all around the world. Or was it?
I mean, it's called aid. That means they give aid to people. Right, guys?
Hello and welcome back
What
to
else
the
would
Shoe
it
on Head
be?
channel. I am Shoe on Head and I am not real. I am a figment of your imagination. You have been in a coma since 2012. Wake up. Wake up. Today we will be talking about the dark, seedy underbelly of USAID. This is a topic I've been interested in for a very long time now.
I just realized that her eyes are more anime than mine. That's crazy. That's crazy.
And now that recently USAID has been in the news, I figured it is a perfect time to finally talk about it. All the mainstream liberal coverage I've seen of this has basically been late-night talk show hosts crying fake tears about it being dismantled, and all the mainstream Republican coverage has just been about all the woke shit USAID was apparently funding. But I promise you, it is more than
Dude, I like how, like, in modern day, she's, like, basically a conservative.
that. A lot more. If you're not a very political person and you only come here to consume the Reddit gender war slop, you should still stick around for this because
There's like a lot of people that are like holding on. They're like holding on to it. Like, oh no, that's not me. But like, they're like, well, no, she's not. Like, she's not really. It's not really true. But what I mean is like, in the eyes of like, so in terms of if you take like the political spectrum, she's like closer to like, she's closer to conservatives than she is to like the hardcore main the liberal people in power, like in power as in like in office basically. I'm not saying that all liberals are like this. I have many liberal friends that are like basically exactly like she is, but what I mean is in terms of like who's in charge of like the liberal side of things, she's like closer to the conservative than to the liberal. Like all, because they're so far. Like at this point, it's like
juicy. And remember, even if you're not interested in politics, politics is interested in you. And trust me, I understand why some people aren't interested in politics. It's confusing, it's stressful, it's a lot to keep up with. I feel like 500 things happen every single day.
Yep.
But thankfully, I have a tool to help with that. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, this video is sponsored by USAID. Just kidding, this video is
why is it backwards? Is this a psyop?
Sponsored
It's backwards. Look at the text, it's backwards.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, this video is sponsored
Psyop
by USAID. Just kidding. This video is sponsored by Ground News. Let's quickly give them a shout out and then we will jump back into this deep dive, shall we? Ground News is a website and an app that gives readers a fun and transparent way to read the news all across the political
Guys, every time I see these ads, I'm like tempted to actually get this thing.
spectrum. From left, right, and center. Every story comes with a quick visual breakdown of political bias that helps you.
As Kirsha says, you cannot just grill because there are people who will try to take away your right to grill in peace. You must fight to protect your grill and protect the right to grill. It just reminded me, I forgot to put my gun on my table. Okay, my right to grill is now protected. I love that she changes outfits more in videos than most VTubers.
Understand the full story and make sure you're getting both sides. One of my favorite features of Ground News has to be the blind spot feature. It shows you news stories that have been covered by only one side of the political spectrum and ignored by the other side. For example, here is a story about how Elon Musk apparently pressured the Reddit CEO to moderate content on the site. Right away, we can see that the story has been covered by 12 sources. And out of these 12 sources, 75% lean left. And no right-wing sources have covered it. Ground News also makes it really easy to compare headlines to see how political bias or ownership can affect the framing of a story. For example, this right-wing headline about how Trump is taking executive action to make DC safe and beautiful, while this left-leaning headline frames the same story as Trump wants Washington, DC to be Berlin 19...
Oh man, dude. Don't you guys just love it? Don't you just love it? It's just like two people observing the same thing. Like they're in reality, they're seeing the same thing, but their version of reality is so completely different. And I'm not trying, guys. This isn't a left issue or right issue. Everyone has this, but it's always like so crazy. It's like people's views of reality are so fucking whack. It's actually so whack.
39? What? I've been using Ground News for 4 years now because it's great, I love it, and it really helps me see how both sides frame things so differently. Best of all, I am currently offering 40% off their Vantage plan, which is what I use to access all of their amazing features. This comes out to only $5 a month.
What is
That's
reality?
Like the price of a coffee. And it is so worth it.
Yeah, one
It is
person's paradise, another person's hell. Yeah, exactly.
It's great. So go to ground.news/shoe or
it's like people can perceive the exact same events like in drastically different ways.
Use the QR code on screen right here, or use the link.
I think that's probably a lot of the problem, is that we don't even live, like, even though we do live in like the same physical reality, we don't live in the same observed reality, and it causes like so many problems, I think.
In the video description.
And you get thrown into the mix, like there's like people that are like fucking around too, like they're messing with people's heads too as well, right?
Down below. Again, that is ground.news/shoe.
Kenny says I get updated. Yeah, it's a new one, Kenny. I have hold on. I got a hat. The hat. I got the sword, the shield. My cleric outfit.
Link down below. I think what they're doing is
that's a cool sword. Thank you.
Because it helps people approach.
I should be getting new stuff for it soon.
The news in a more fair and balanced way, and I feel like we need that now more than ever. So thank you to Ground News for sponsoring this video, and thank you, the viewer, for not skipping the ad. Right? Now let's get back to this USAID deep dive, shall we? So Donald Trump and Elon Musk created the Department of Government Efficiency, aka Doge. Get it? Like the Reddit meme from 2012? Epic bacon, my fellow memers. Honestly, who am I to talk about dead memes? My username is Shoe on Head. So Doge's supposed goal seems to be cutting useless spending the government is making us pay taxes on. Now, I have very mixed feelings about taxes.
Is it bad? I don't know. I don't know the meme, that the shoe on head. Is that I only know all your base or belong to us. Yeah.
From each according to his ability, to each according to his needs. Taxation is theft! The tree of liberty will be refreshed with the blood of tyrants! My opinion has always been, if we are going to pay taxes in this country, could they at least go to things that actually help?
Oh, put shoe on head or pre-recorded? I see.
Like Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, child tax credits, firefighters, fixing our bridges and roads, castrating pedophiles, government-funded girlfriends, things like that. And yes, we should be auditing the government. I think that's a good thing. Frankly, I don't care who does it as long as they do it well. Good things are good, bad things are bad. I'm anti-bad things, pro-good things. Those are my politics.
Yep.
And hating libertarians. Just kidding, I love libertarians. I get along great with them. As long as we don't talk about child labor. Anyway, Doge got straight to work, firing government workers and basically hiring my Twitter mutuals. What was once a theater kid-occupied government is now—
But like, the farm, you have a farm, and then you like spawn some more humans, some workers. You put them on the farm, you know. Encourage having more kids.
A right-wing—
That's why people had a lot of kids back in the days, because you could put them to work.
It's so poster occupied government. No, I am not joking.
So this is a 19-year-old high school graduate.
That's actually a thing. That's actually a thing before. Is like in the kind of like medieval times, basically, you had to have a lot of kids. Partially because a lot of them died. A lot of them just died randomly from, like, you know, I don't know, they got bit by a snake or trampled by a horse or, you know, dysentery. or something like that. This had like a lot of kids died, so you'd have like a ton of kids, and then when they grew up, they became like valuable labor for your farm. Yeah.
Who has used the unfortunate nickname Big Balls online. So
Okay, I was not ready for that. Hold on. I wasn't prepared. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm ready. All right.
that would be one way that we could refer to him. He is now working at Musk's behest inside Doge.
If you had told me 10 years ago that Donald Trump and Elon Musk would hire some Zoomer named Big Balls to help audit the government, I'd believe it. Like, yeah, that checks out.
Yeah, so so what happened was they hired the guy, and you know, they did what they usually did. They went digging into his past, and they found out that his username was Big Balls.
They have no relevant experience. Most of them aren't old enough to rent a car. They're not even old enough to rent a car. They're in their 20s. We sent 18-year-olds to go die in the wars you cheerlead on, you evil hag. Why are they so focused on the ages of these people when our government is basically a retirement home? But honestly, I don't blame Hillary
True.
Clinton. If I were her, I also wouldn't want 22-year-olds in the government.
That was a good one. That was a good one. True.
Months before dismantling the Department of Education, or apparently Sesame Street, Doge's first order of business
Thanks for the bitch,
was
Shane.
dismantling USAID.
Without providing any proof, Elon said USAID is a criminal organization. Oh, yeah. They're an international crime syndicate hell-bent on helping people.
Pretty f***ed up, huh? Taking money away from an aid program that helps poor people all around the world. Except USAID was not exactly that. In fact, it doesn't even f***ing stand for aid. It stands for United States Agency for International Development. It has f*** all to do with aid. But
A brilliant name for it, though, to be honest. What other way to keep people from being against the thing that you have than by naming it something? Dude, that's like making like, dude, that's what they should do. Like, you know, MS-13. They should just rebrand themselves as people for puppies or something. Because then if it was like people for puppies, then they're like, yeah, they're deporting people. They're deporting people that like puppies. Like, dude, it would sound so bad, right? They should do it. I think they should. They should just change their name to something like that.
honestly, I don't blame you for thinking it does. After all, they do make the word aid a different color in the logo. Those sneaky bastards.
Thank you so much.
Although it said USAID provides 42% of global aid, the truth is most of those funds are just spent paying US contractors and secretly conducting regime change all around the world. In fact, 80% of all USAID funding goes to just 75 organizations, while only 6% of that goes to aid. And by auditing USAID, Doge exposed the true, real puppet masters behind the secret cabal of evil masterminds funding the...
They take our tax money. They take our tax money and they give it to their friends. That's what they do, and that's how they get rich. These politicians. Because if you think about it, like how is it like every time? How is it every time these politicians get into office? By the way, a job that has like a fixed income, really. How do they get into that and then they get super freaking rich every single time? They get in there with nothing. They come out with like fucking mansions and shit. How is this fucking possible? Right? How is it possible? How is it possible that Nancy Pelosi is right all the time with her stock trading? How is this fucking possible? How is it possible? And it's because these people they give their friends favors by giving them government contracts because they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck who gets it, and then they use that to basically give them money to do fuck all random shit, and then kind of launder our money, really. Launder the tax money into like a different company to themselves
woke
eventually.
Ideology spreading all around the globe. You. Yes, it was you, American taxpayer. Turns out the deep state was the friends we made along the way. And yes, it's true, we are spending billions of dollars in our tax money to fund things like teaching Sri Lankan journalists how to avoid binary gendered language, combating disinformation in Kazakhstan, promoting inclusion in Vietnam, millions to an Armenian LGBT group, millions to rebuild the Cuban media ecosystem, millions for LGBT causes in the Western Balkans, millions for LGBT activism in Uganda, millions for atheism in Nepal, millions for male circumcision around the world, for atheism in Nepal, millions for male circumcision around the world, and $2 million for sex changes in Guatemala. And many other things that were so ridiculous I had to double check to make sure I wasn't being trolled. Taxpayer-funded sex changes in Guatemala? We don't even do that here! Now, you might be saying, Shu, this seems like some stupid anti-woke shit.
Yeah,
And
like why the fuck are they spending our money on that shit? And see, this is what I said, man. This is why people are so mad. This is why the average person is so fucking pissed off at this point, because you have to understand that there's people right now in America that are struggling because the economy sucks or whatever, and they're realizing that, oh shit, all the food that I bought, like it's gonna cost me double to buy that steak now that I really want. So now I gotta buy like some other shit because I can't afford it anymore. And they're struggling. There's a lot of people struggling right now. Like they can't buy it. They can't buy a house. They can't buy a house, can't provide for their families. Like, and it's like they see all this money that they're paying into. They see their check have the taxes automatically taken out. And then they see all of our money by US citizens going to non-US citizens for bullshit. And they're like, what am I even struggling for? It's like, I'm struggling, yet you're giving money to like whatever for stupid reasons. And that's why people are fed up. And that's why Trump became president, because people got fucking sick of it. And the problem is like the fact that that people are against Doge, which is like the whole point of Doge is like, listen, the government is probably wasting a lot of money. Let's look into it. We're going to be super transparent about it. Like, here's all the reports on the website. You can see them all. The fact that people are against that, it just further drives people into like thinking like, oh yeah, they really don't give a fuck about us. They really are like spending our money. They don't care about helping us out at all. They only care about like other countries. Why do they care more about other countries than like our own citizens? And that's why Trump won. And that's why the other sides, like, and I don't mean just like the liberals, I mean like also the conservative cucks, basically. They're gonna keep losing because they don't understand like how bad this is, like perception wise, to like the average person.
yeah, kind of. You got me. But I ask you, young naive liberal, why the f*** was John Bolton once the head of USAID? John Bolton, for those of you who are unaware, is an infamous neocon hack. He's literally...
Here's another reason the government said they couldn't help struggling citizens after hurricanes last year, because they ran out of money. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, they ran out of money for a reason, right?
criticized Trump for not being enough of a warmonger. Neocon hacks, for those same few of you who are unaware, are the people in our government responsible for meddling with other countries all around the world and getting us into wars for basically funsies. The people who suck the teat of Raytheon, Boeing, etc. The military-industrial complex's favorite Discord kittens.
Yep.
These guys come in shades of red and blue. So why was John Bolton, a red guy, in charge of the same program, USAID, that is sending American taxpayer money to foreign countries to have things like trans pride parades? The truth is, the USAID thing goes a lot deeper than what a lot of Republican commentators are saying. It wasn't just a bunch of libtards in government wasting our money on stupid woke things. No, there's way more than that. You see, it's current year and we can't just do old-fashioned imperialism anymore. The people don't like that. It's a new era, so we have to dress it up in glitter and rainbows. To put it bluntly, USAID is nothing but another form of taxpayer-funded regime change, wearing an innocent mask of aid. Shut up, Shu! You dumb bimbo populist! You reactionary shitlord! You cry, tears running down your fat, retarded face. The United States is just giving foreign countries billions of dollars out of the kindness of their hearts! Oh yeah? I have a lovely bridge on sale down the road. Would you like to buy it? Listen, despite all its faults, I love America, and I love the American people. But if you believe the corrupt, greedy bureaucrats running the deep state of this country do anything out of the kindness of their hearts, you are a sweet, innocent angel, and you need to be protected at all costs. I especially side-eye any leftist who has the nerve to run defense for USAID, especially those who call themselves socialists or commies, considering the fact that USAID was basically originally created to destroy communist countries all around the world. Established in 1961 by President John F. Kennedy under the noble guise of aiding developing nations, USAID was, in many respects, an instrument during the Cold War to counter Soviet influence and keep the Third World from crafting its own socioeconomic model.
Yeah, it's like propaganda, basically.
A year after President John Kennedy created USAID in 1961, he told its directors that, as we do not want to send American troops to a great many areas where freedom may be under attack, we send you. It wasn't long before the CIA spotted an opportunity to...
This is the problem again. This is why we can't have nice things. So like that, the idea there is like, I mean, you can kind of see it. You can kind of see like, oh, okay, fair enough. We're fighting an ideological battle, so let's do that. But what are they even spending on it on now? Like, do we need that? Does that help us in our freaking... Unless it's like dude, I'm trying to think. Maybe it's on purpose. Maybe it's on purpose to destabilize other countries. That's like the only other reason you could really think of it for is like, right? That's the only reason that kind of makes sense and is like, actually, like, I see why you're spending the money for that. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but that's the only like line of logic you can really connect. It's kind of evil, but makes sense, right? Like, okay, so fair enough. You're not really wasting it. You're just evil, right? Like, but otherwise it's just a waste of money and they're stupid. What do you guys think? Evil or stupid? Both? Damn rough.
extend its reach. In 1962,
I tried to give them a chance, but you know what? Fair enough, guys.
USAID launched its Office of Public Safety to send agents around the world under the guise of training police officers. But as it turned out, the trainers were busy teaching enhanced interrogation techniques, a euphemism for torture. The scandal broke out in 1966, and although the office was finally shut down in 1974, the dark practices persisted within military and intelligence circles. By 1980, USAID Administrator John Gilligan was candid enough to describe the agency as nothing more than a graduate school for the CIA. At one time, many aid field offices were infiltrated from top to bottom with CIA people, he said. It was pretty well known in the agency who they were and what they were up to. The idea was to plant operatives in every kind of activity we had overseas, government, volunteer, religious, every kind. USAID was quickly nicknamed the CIA's
waterboarding child's play.
Oh, and here is John Bolton holding a trophy given to him by USAID.
There's no fucking way. There's no way. Why does it when I look at this guy like John Bolton, doesn't he like kind of like make you think of like a dog? I don't mean in like a necessarily derogatory way, but he kind of like has like an anthropomorphic dog like look to him, doesn't he? Yeah, like a cartoon dog, right? Like if he had like a cartoon dog, he looks like a cartoon dog.
In the shape of a hand grenade. Yeah, nothing to see here, folks. So let's talk about Zune Zaneo, shall we? Sit down. I love this story. Taken directly from Wikipedia, Zune Zaneo was an online social networking and microblogging service created by the United States Agency for International Development, aka USAID, and marketed to Cuban users. It was covertly developed as a long-term strategy to encourage Cuban youths to revolt against the nation's government. The developers aim to use non-controversial content such as sports and music to build.
Dude, these guys are like, yo, we can't have TikTok. We can't have TikTok in America. And it's like, why? They're propagandizing us. Like, oh yeah? Yeah, because that's what we would do. They know.
subscribers and then to slowly
They're like, we already did that before. We know what they're doing. We do that all the time.
introduce political messages through social bots to encourage dissent in an astroturfing initiative. So basically, USAID created a fake-ass social media platform in Cuba with...
You guys see why I hate the government?
I'm not a big fan of the government. 30 on 30.
Whenever I say I hate the government, this is why. This is why. Because they're fucking pieces of shit. They're fucking evil. That's why I hate them. They're evil and they take your money to do evil shit. It's actually unreal. Like this is why you want less taxes, because you can gut them and then they don't have any money to do evil shit. And then if they don't have enough money, they have to spend money on the important shit that we all need, because if they don't, then people riot in the streets. So it's like the less money you give them, the more lean they have to be and the less capability they have for evil. That's why fuck taxes. That's why. It's not because I hate police officers. Like, if it's for police officers, I'm fine paying taxes. If it's for police officers and like actually for roads, and when I mean actually for roads, I mean like they're not just gonna fuck up the road just so they can fix it again and then fuck it up the next time to fix it again. I mean like actually fix the roads and make them good so they don't blow up after like the next time it rains. Like, I'm fine with that for taxes if we need to spend money on that. If you told me we need more tax money, we need it so we can make the education better for kids, here's the plan. We guarantee we're going to get like this increase in like actual IQ and actual whatever the hell educational metrics. And we're going to get an actual net increase. Then I would be fine with that. Sure. Why not? The problem is they're not good at it. They suck. They suck at everything. They suck at so much. It's unreal. It's like it's not only a way, like, honestly, you're better off lighting money on fire. Like, honestly. Like, I would rather literally light money on fire than give it to them to do this kind of shit. That's my point. It's worse than wasting the money. It's literally the worst case scenario. And this is why I hate taxes, because they suck. Period. And again, this isn't a partisan thing. This isn't like Leaflit saying all the liberals suck. I'm saying they all suck. Almost all of them suck, actually. And that's why I'm glad. We'll see. We'll see. I hope it's not right. All the shit about Trump just pretending and like he's actually like the same thing, controlled by the same people. I mean, it's possible. I hope not. And, you know, it's all a ploy. The whole like, oh, we're usurping, you know, all of these people who fucked up. We're usurping all of them. And, you know, we're going to be America first and fuck it. I don't know. It seems like he's legit from my point of view right now on most issues. There's a couple issues I'm a little sus about, but it seems in general that he's pretty, like, he has done a lot of the stuff that he said he was going to do. Like the whole stuff with the illegal immigrants and securing the border. He seems very serious about that. But we'll see. We'll see. It's still pretty early, right? I don't want to. I've been burned too much. I've been burned too much to trust. So I'm hoping it's not like another burn, you know? What's the word for it? I'm sanguine.
Tax dollars, flooded it with bot content about like sports and music and whatever, just to make it seem normal, then slowly started to manipulate the users and create political division on the app between Cuban citizens in order to create political chaos in this country and a potential uprising. So yeah, how dare we take money away from those starving
USA alone was worth my vote. You know what? True. You want to know the problem, guys? The problem is who else you got. Who else you got? Am I wrong? Like, let's even assume I didn't like anything about Trump. Let's assume I didn't like him at all. Didn't like his personality. Didn't like the way he acted. Didn't like the way he talked. What who else do you have? What do we vote? Do we vote for Kamala just cuz? Like, that's what I mean. Like, what's the solution here?
cover agents. To make things even more sus, the money we spent on Zunzaneo was publicly documented as an unnamed project in Pakistan. Yes, this fake-ass social media psyop they created in Cuba was documented by our government as being a project in Pakistan. Now, think of all the other weird shit USAID was supposedly funding. Those sex changes in Guatemala. Were they really sex changes in Guatemala? Or were they some covert psyop being done somewhere else in the world? I guess we'll never know now. Using
That's
social
true. It's
media
hard to track
divide
that at
the
that point.
masses and create political division. You don't think?
Sleepy Sloth TTV says, I've never cared for Trump, but more and more I'm like, he's the only one who can trying to change the status quo. Don't know if he'll be better, but yeah, I think a lot of people are like that actually. Sleepy Sloth. I think so. I think a lot of people are like that too. Like, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm honestly fine with the way he talks. Like, I know a lot of people don't like the way he talks and the way he talks shit and the way he speaks kind of plainly rather than like eloquently. Like, I kind of like it, to be honest, personally. I don't really care about like, you know, the whatever the hell he said about whatever, you know, whatever man locker room talking shit about, you know, grabbing women or whatever. Like, guys, I've played a lot of Counter-Strike, okay? It's kind of whatever. Like, to be honest. Like, you know what I mean? He said that shit in private. It's like just dudes fucking around. They say stupid shit all the time. I know, because, you know, I hung out with a lot of dudes. They say a lot of bullshit, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's whatever. I don't really care that much. What I care about is like what they're actually doing. And like I said, like I'm optimistic that like well, it's not only just optimistic, like I mean I can already see that at least something is being done about things that he said that he was gonna do. He's actually trying to fix them. Whereas like other times we just get like this bullshit all the time. And honestly, I'm gonna be real. Trump's first term was kind of whatever. It was kind of like, well, at least it wasn't Hillary. That was literally it during Trump's first term. It was like, it was funny, and then it was like, at least it's not Hillary. But like now he's like actually doing stuff and like coming out the gate hard, and it's nice to see, honestly. It really is. The Abraham Accords were true. That was pretty good. I of course I'm not saying like every single thing. I just mean in total, right? In total, it was like kind of like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like a home run, right? It's like it was like a foul ball to first base, basically. If I were to put it into terms, it was a foul ball to first place, but like now, but to first base, it's basically get fouled out, basically. Yeah, it's like you get hit, you get hit by the ball. I'm not good at baseball. You get hit by the ball, I believe you go to first base for free. That's basically what I'm trying to say. It was that, basically. And then, but yeah, now he's actually swinging, so it's kind of nice. Yeah.
No. They wouldn't do that. I mean, it's kind of weird they asked the former...
Sorry, another thing. In his defense, he did say that he got shitted on a lot by people. That he had a lot of fucked up people in like his cabinet, which like, yeah. So... we'll see. We'll see, because that excuse doesn't work anymore, right? And again, like I said, he's done a lot of things. Like he's got Doge in there. USAID is gone. Is dead. A bunch of stuff that sucked is dead. He's really going hard on the border. He got like that hookup with El Salvador for the super jails, like deport everybody back to there. So it's great. I mean, it's pretty good so far, I'd say. Is it like 100%? No, but who is 100%? Nobody is really 100%.
Founder of Twitter to help with this project, but no. They would only do social media psyops in other countries, right? Right? In March 2024, a document was exposed that revealed USAID was running covert psyops all around the internet in order to combat populist misinformation about the government on Twitch, Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, and 4chan.
Wait.
Psyops all around the internet in order to combat popos in other countries, right? Right?
What?
In March 2024, a document was exposed that revealed USAID was running covert psyops all around the internet in order to combat populist misinformation about the government on Twitch, Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, and 4chan.
Okay, guys, which big streamers got this money? Who got this money, chat? Am I a Fed? I didn't get shit from them, dude. I wish I was a Fed. Wait, Hassan, wait, no. Did he really? Wait, are you guys memeing, dude? There's no way. No. No, did she talk about it? No.
Although its internal justification was halting the flow of mis and disinformation, it seemed particularly concerned with malinformation.
He owns a mansion?
A concept it defines as speech that is factually correct but misleading, i.e., bothersome truths the US government.
You guys ever notice that commies are either like turbo poor, like they're commies are either turbo poor or super filthy rich? Where are the commies in the middle? There's no commies in the middle. It's just always like really fucking rich or really fucking poor.
Would prefer the public does not know. USAID suggests directing the public toward mainstream corporate sources of information and psychologically inoculating them against inconvenient facts that challenge US power by pre-bunking information before people see it. Pre-bunking includes discrediting the brand, the credibility, and reputation of those making false allegations. In other words, a state-directed attack against alternative media.
I think communism is immoral, honestly. That's my take on it. For me, it's a moral argument, actually. But it's not only it's first off, it's immoral. Second, it's unrealistic because of human nature. It's the problem with communism.
And critics of the US government. So basically, USAID was funding a bunch of dorks to go all around social media and be like, source? Every time someone criticizes the government.
So like communism works in a small group of willing people. That's where communism works. Once you extend that to like a much larger group of people, it becomes a lot less feasible and a lot less moral. And I talked about this before, right? Like you're like I'm communist with my mom, socialist, I guess, not communist. I'm socialist with my mom, right? Like my family group is like socialist, right? Like if you had a family, it would be the same thing, right? Like you'd have like your kids and your wife and your wife or your husband or whatever. And the whole idea of like you don't really care, right? Like whoever, like basically if someone in your family is needs money, and it's like, you know, for the purpose of the family, like you just give it to them, right? Like it's kind of like whatever. But once you apply that to people that aren't really related to each other, that have nothing to do with each other, then it becomes easily abusable. That's why this isn't socialism. Well, what I mean is okay, so let me be more specific. The idea like of what is it? I'm drawing a brain fart. Let me just look up the exact phrase so I don't shit myself. All right, what is their Marxist catchphrase right here? From each according to his ability to each according to his needs. That's how a family functions. The problem with capitalism is that capitalists read wealth of nations and forget to read moral sentiments. Without moral framework, capitalism is subject to serious problems. It's still better. Yeah, I mean, again, you have the problem of. And this is like the big problem with every system is you really have to account for human nature. Human nature fucks everything up, right? Like there you have it that you have like socialism, which could work, but humans fuck it up. It should theoretically work, but then, you know, human nature. Capitalism, like straight up capitalism should theoretically work, but human nature, right? So it's about picking the one that's that's the least bad, trying to have a system that's the least bad, the least abusable. Humans are hopelessly flawed, yes. I found myself day by day kind of thinking that this is gonna sound kind of doomer, but just thinking that humans are far more evil than I thought. Like just, man.
Government. This is somehow more pathetic than when I used to use an alt account to defend myself on BreadTube subreddits. That is basically what our government was doing. Also, I like how this implies the people you called a Fed online might have actually been a Fed. There is a chance that you may have fought with a federal agent, a USAID federal agent on Twitter or 4chan. This
That's
also
actually
implies that,
hilarious.
streamers and social media influencers may have been funded by USAID.
Who is it? Who is it, guys? Who is it? Which VTubers, guys? Which VTubers?
But who? Who among us? Who would be willing to
Do I wish? Where's my money?
unquestionably, enthusiastically suck establishment cock that hard?
For all the bad stuff America does around the world, USAID was just an organization that did a lot of nice things. Like it put a lot of money into efforts to help people in a variety of ways, like both materially and culturally. It's just like a nice way for the United States to have a positive presence around the world.
For the record, I do not actually believe Destiny is being funded by USAID. I just thought that transition was funny. I love that quote though. USAID was just a nice organization that did a lot of.
So this says, thank you for the bits. Here's your USAID paycheck agent leaflet. Keep up the shilling. You're supposed to call me on the freaking untraced line. What are you doing, Zeta? Zeta, what are you doing? Lizard Tango Whiskey Bravo, Zeta. What the fuck, bro? 10-4.
Nice things like
Shit.
culturally help people around the world. Culturally help people? Why are we in the business of cultural imperialism? Why do we have to culturally enrich Latin America or the f***ing Balkans? So not only are we the world police, but we are now the world HR department? No thank you. Why are we spending billions of dollars doing f***ass shit in other countries while ours crumbles? I don't care about teaching gender studies to Ugandans. The pothole in front of my house hasn't been filled in 3 years. These are my taxes, and I believe my taxes should go to help people in my
Tell Big Mike I sent the report, Zeta. Yeah.
country. I don't think that's controversial to say. And I know many conservatives agree with me. I'll always hear them say, we can't be spending money in Ukraine. We have to take care of our own. And then they just don't take care of their own. Because that's socialism or communism or something. Listen, do you actually want to take care of your own? Do you actually want your taxes to go towards helping the poor and sick and families in this country? Are you actually America first, or are you corpos and foreign countries first? I'm more than happy to work with you on good things to fix this country. But I don't think the establishment GOP is.
You don't want able-bodied workers on a program that is intended, for example, for single mothers with 2 small children who's just trying to make it. That's what Medicaid is for, not for 29-year-old males sitting on their couches playing video games. We're going to find those guys and we're going to send them back to work.
First of all, Medicaid is for anyone who needs it, period. And second of all, 29-year-old guys? You mean your fucking voter base? You mean the very demographic that is shifting the entire country in your direction? Those guys? Yeah, we're just wasting so much money helping young men. Those greedy gamers just gobbling up all the
Gamers are the most oppressed group. Look at this hate. Am I right, guys? SMH. This is like anti-gamer, gamerist, I'd say, actually. Yeah, I feel targeted too, yeah, for sure. It's fucked up, man.
the tax money, not massive tax cuts to corporations and the rich, not all the money to the bloated military-industrial complex, no. Gamers. Young men who can't find a job, can't afford a house, can't afford college. Young men who can't build a family because of the society you created. Those guys, they need
That and there's no incentive to do so. That's a whole different topic, though.
to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and pay for their own Medicare. This care isn't for them, it's for women. What? Great to know both sides of the establishment fucking hate young men. Anyway, sorry, I popped off. Let's get back on topic. Now, USAID did do some good things. I won't deny that. But even some of the good things USAID did were nothing but a bunch of fronts. Using Cuba as an example again, because these are some of the only ones that have been exposed so far, there was a USAID program called the Travelers Project. that was said to be an HIV prevention workshop. But yet again, it was nothing but another covert regime change psyop. This was exposed in 2014 by the Associated Press. Young Venezuelans
Of course, they say it for something on paper, but it's actually complete bullshit.
and Peruvians were deployed by USAID to Cuba's college campuses for $5.41 an hour.
It's
Really,
cheap.
USAID? Billions of dollars force feminizing mice, and you can't even pay your spies a living wage? Sad. Anyway, they were used to recruit college students.
It's like a Fiverr spies. make a fucking Fiverr post. I will spy for any country for $5. If you do the $10 package, I'll be a double agent.
Into political organizations with the goal of turning them against their government. The goal of, once again, creating political division. In the exposed memos about this, USAID called their HIV workshop the, quote, perfect excuse. Right. But we're totally funding DEI in Vietnam for pure humanitarian reasons, I'm sure. This was done so sloppily that even our boy John Bolton came out and disavowed it, but not without saying he thought it was a good idea in principle. Yes, it's a great idea to create taxpayer-funded secret psyops all over the world in order to f*** with other countries' politics. Just don't recruit teenagers to do it next time, okay? What? I honestly just think it's kind of funny we were funding anti-socialist agendas all around the world and disguising it as social progressivism. Don't think too hard about that one. Now, Cuba wasn't the only place USAID was culturally helping. On January 12, 2010, a 7.0 magnitude earthquake struck Haiti, killing 220,000 people, injuring another 300,000, and leaving 1.5 million more homeless. In the wake of the catastrophe, the United States provided $1.6 billion in reconstruction funding to Haiti, $651 million of which went to USAID. Rather than employing Haitian construction companies, USAID contracted out the rebuilding projects to international firms. For instance, Minnesota-based construction firm Thor
That's like how much money that Snow White lost.
was awarded $18 million in contracts, and Mexico-based firm Cemex received over $7 million. But by far the largest recipient of USAID funding in Haiti was Washington, D.C. based contractor Comonix International, who received over $200 million to carry out a total of 141 projects. In fact, USAID awarded more money to Comonix than to the entire Haitian government in the wake of the earthquake. An audit conducted on Comonix revealed that the company had a tendency to not finish jobs,
See, the problem is if you did this in a private company, you'd get fired.
evaluated its own project on arbitrary criteria, not having to do anything with the project, and failed to set timelines, causing some projects to fall behind schedule. In one case, Comonix was contracted to build Haiti's new parliament building, but what they constructed came out half-finished and unusable. The company only built the framework of the building, not even erecting interior walls to divide office spaces, nor did they bother to furnish the building. Left with this, the Haitian government was forced to draw $775,000 from its public treasury to complete the project. Despite these disastrous results, Comonix to this day remains USAID's top contractor. The construction company was awarded $506.4 million in contracts in 2021
They just keep failing up, man.
alone. In a leaked email exposed by WikiLeaks, they described this tragedy as a gold rush, ensuring that it would be great for international companies. Seems like the only thing they are culturally helping is their own wallets, am I right? And you know how you always hear about how poor people are in Venezuela and how the politicians are so rich and live—
Why can't we all get behind hating this? That's why I'm confused. Why do liberals hate this? I feel like you'd want to get behind the one taking these guys down.
in luxury? Yeah, part of that has to do with USAID.
She
Billions
says
of
I'm
dollars
liberal and
of
hate this.
aid we sent
Yeah,
to
'cause you're
Venezuela
reasonable.
just lined the pockets of US-backed politicians there. Only 2% of the aid we sent to Venezuela actually went to help Venezuelans. So
That's
at this
because
point,
I'm
the
evil?
whole world
Yeah.
was basically sick
True.
of USAID's bullshit. In 2013, Bolivian President Evo Morales
You're not
expelled
wrong.
USAID officials from his country on the grounds that the agency
Thanks for the bits, Grimster. Thank you so much.
He had conspired against his government by allegedly manipulating social movements in the country. He also charged that a previous USAID program that sought to help cocoa farms switch to new crops was politically motivated. Russia expelled the agency in 2012 for similar reasons. Its foreign ministry argued in a statement that USAID attempts to influence political processes through its grants. And in February, Kenyan Cabinet Secretary Francis Kimimya claimed that his government had evidence that USAID had hired activists to organize anti-government protests in Nairobi in an effort to topple the government. Oh, and if you're wondering why so many news outlets and journalists were freaking out over the potential shutting down of USAID, yeah, it's probably because it's where their paychecks were coming from.
Yup.
Yeah, apparently USAID was funding about 6,200 journalists and 707 news outlets all across the world. Not even just America. For example, the editor-in-chief of a Ukrainian news outlet wrote that destroying USAID was a greater threat to Ukrainian journalism than the Russian invasion.
Methylene says, Leaflit, seriously, my friend thinks we are as a society suffering from the after effects of mass COVID outbreaks, and a lot of people are actually retarded now. Like something actually wrong with the majority of people now, and basic thinking power just went down to zero. So like, do you think it was, hold on. So wait, you mean like, are you trying to say like COVID lowered people's IQ actually, like the actual debuff of COVID, like had like a longer debuff that was attached to it that lowered int? Or do you think that it was because COVID debuffed people while they were developing that they had lower int? COVID brain fog is real. Wait, what is COVID? Wait, hold on. Can I blame COVID on that? Because sometimes I get brain fog, but then again, it's because I'm always thinking at this point that sometimes I skip over a topic in my mind. I get distracted basically. Like sometimes I brain fog out because like I'm talking about something and then I get distracted by something else and then I forgot what I was thinking about. Something happened in the last 5 years and people are actually just have no thinking skills now. It's real. So I mean, is that the case though? Is it the case that did COVID actually make it harder for people to think, or are we just noticing the effects? Right? It's a long COVID. Really? Is this real? Scientific evidence, multiple studies have documented cognitive impairments, often referred to as brain fog, in some individuals post-COVID-19 infection. 2024 meta-analysis in Nature found that individuals with long COVID exhibited measurable deficits in attention. I've always been like this though. Attention, memory, executive function, 0.2 to 0.5 standard deviations below controls. These deficits were more pronounced in cases of severe initial infections or long COVID symptoms that persisting beyond 6 months. 2023 Lancet study proposed causes include neuroinflammation, reduced cerebral blood flow, potential viral persistence in the central nervous system. In 2023 study of the Lancet Neurology suggested that SARS-CoV may trigger microglial activation, leading to cognitive dysfunction. Estimates vary, but studies suggest 10 to 30% of COVID-19 survivors experience persistent cognitive symptoms, particularly those with long COVID. Mild cases are less likely to show significant impairment. Bioweapon?
What? There were independent outlets shutting down everywhere, including Russia after the USAID freeze. So we were apparently funding media
Resident
in both
Evil.
Ukraine and Russia.
I'm playing both sides so that I always come out on top.
Serbia, Moldova, all across Latin America, independent outlets.
See, the problem is the problem is like it's hard for me to really think of like anecdotal issues because I tend to have okay. I'm trying to think about this critically because there could be some other factors involved. Like for instance, I have a lot more trouble with like, what's the word? Having like a mental fog on something if I'm sleepy. Like if I didn't sleep very much, which is, I mean, that's obvious, right? Like everybody knows what that's like. So like it could be that like around COVID, I stopped sleeping as much, which is kind of true. So like, yeah, maybe, I mean, for me, that's why it's hard for me to like really like hard blame something like COVID for that. So I don't know. But like, is it possible that there are other like COVID, there's so much that happened like during the COVID thing. It's hard to say what specifically it is. There were so many societal changes that it's like, could this have been an issue with like kind of social factors, like people not hanging out with their friends, you know, people just fucking watching brain rot TV for like years, people not working. There's a lot of factors you can think of, and if you're going to bring children into it, like you know, a lack of development because kids weren't allowed to go to school. So it's really, really hard to think about like I mean, all of these things could be the case, right? It could be because it's a bioweapon and that was the intended function. I mean, sure, that's a possibility, right? But it's hard to say like what it is exactly. Someone speaks says the issue is that there's a difference between you and society as a whole getting standard deviations more retarded in the West. Like something very, very bad happened during the 5 years of COVID from 2019 to 2024. Yeah. I know. I'm just trying to think about like, in order to like find the truth, you have to start ruling out other things. Does that make sense? So I'm trying to think of like all of the possible things that it could have been. Anyway, let's keep going.
Everywhere. All because the little sister of the CIA can't pay no mo. So I have a question. Why the f*** were we funding media in all these other countries?
At it, Nicole.
The CEO for the Center of Investigative Reporting, a USAID-supported Bosnian media organization, said it best.
What I have in mind.
Quote, if you are funded by the US government, there are certain topics that you would simply not go after, because the US government has its interests that are above all else. Oh, I guess that answers my question. USAID is also ridden with other scandals, such as covering up a child sex abuse ring in Kenya, kidnapping and torturing people in Uruguay, forced sterilizing 300,000
No, Uruguay, what the hell? Call me now.
Peruvian women, and the famous one you all know, funding drug production in Afghanistan. Oopsie poopsies, we did little fucky wuckies. Now think about all the other shit that hasn't been exposed. These aren't mistakes.
I fucking hate these people. These people are the worst. What the fuck, man? They're the worst.
These aren't flukes. These aren't little fucky wuckies. This is what this program was set out to do. This is why it was created. We were quite literally funding Globo Homo as a sneaky way to do regime change in American
Globo Homo. I like that. Globo Homo.
Or do you think we're spending $1 million in Nepal to promote atheism because Hinduism is such a threat? You're cute. The United States won't sleep until there's an ugly progress flag hanging on a Starbucks on every corner of every street all over the world from Latin America to the Middle East. Ah yes, the greatest American exports, butt, sex, and war. There are a shit ton of old left-wing articles you can find online spanning back to like...
We used to make good movies. Sorry, world. We used to make good video games. We used to make good movies. Now all we have is Globo Homo.
2010, even earlier, about how evil USAID is. Now suddenly liberals are acting
all we have is the ambiguously gay duo now.
Another fucking beacon of democracy that we have to cry and piss and shit about just because it's Trump getting rid of it. Frankly, I don't care. If they start dismantling things that I do care about, things that do actually help the American people, then
Frisian Knight says, it's just me or is she going extra hard on this one? It's pretty fucking infuriating, so I understand her going completely hard on it. It's really irritating. It's so annoying. Like knowing this as an American.
I will care.
They're stealing our money for this.
We spent on the Iraq War went next, please. Or, you know, actually release the Epstein files.
Yo, what happened to that shit? Where's my Epstein files?
Do I think Doge cut USAID because they're our great comrade in arms, cutting off the tentacles of American imperialism? No. Trump probably just cut it because he thought it was a woke, gay waste of money, and it was. But as far as I'm concerned, every article written about how bad...
Yeah, what's taking so fucking long? Just use AI to redact that shit.
Dismantling it was written by John Bolton himself. Like the president of Colombia said, take your money with you. It's poison. All the sources I used in this video and all the information I got for this video will be in links down below. Feel free to do your own research as always. And if you like this video, please consider subscribing. A lot of you aren't subscribed apparently.
Guys, go subscribe. Go subscribe. I'm linking it.
Just watch and fuck off. I will find you. Also, this video is most likely going to be demonetized, so if you can and if you want to, please donate to me on Patreon, link down below. It helps the channel so much, and I appreciate it. And I will see you next time with a less serious, more fun video. Bye!
Man. She's a liberal, but she hates liberals. I mean, I'm a conservative. I hate conservatives, so we can be friends. I hate both liberals and conservatives, actually. They're both annoying. I'm like, there's a secret ending. All right. I'm kind of like more in the middle. I'm a moderate, but I'm a moderate, but that makes me effectively far right, you know? Nowadays.
Fucking hate Hillary Clinton. Donald.
Me too. Me too. Me too. Just kidding, Hillary. Please don't come after me. Please. Please don't.